what's up? Y'all know who it is. Just somebody confessing about a lot of things dealing with the medical and my journey over 25 years. And it ain't been speaked on, but it should be. But one thing that I want to speak on is a person who had a transplant and an LVAD placed in Methodist, but getting second year treatment at UT Southwest, which UT Southwest was the hospital that first put me on the transplant list. Sounds funny, here's the explanation. And then I can differ the difference between Houston Methodist and UT Southwest. And it's a bunch of comparisons. It's number 1 and 2 in the nation. In Texas, I mean, I keep saying the nation, but Houston Met is more highly ranked than UT Southwest, but they had to give it to a second hospital, so they chose UT Southwest, which been some of the most excellent doctors on the planet working at UT Southwest. And I can never take back anything about Clyde Yancey, the one who told me in 2004 that you're gonna get a heart one day. So that showed the accuracy of him telling me I was gonna get a heart, which 2/19/20 became that day I got my heart. And then I go to run across a lot of doctors, facility workers, etc., that worked at UT Southwest that I had highly respect for. And courtesy, being in the old hospital that's no longer there, being placed in the 6th floor VIPs back in 2004. I never can forget that, staying in the hospital. My first stay in the hospital for a whole month before I got the list. That's the first month me ever being on the transplant list. I was in the hospital as a 30-day exemption, they said. Then I learned that over the years. I go detailed in my story about the exemption part that I learned that you can get to 30 days. That's my first ever 30 days, was March of 2004 at UT Southwest at the old St. Paul building, which became UT Southwest. I was on the 6th floor VIP. I think Royce West was the senator. He was my next door. You know how everybody got like a roommate next door or whatever, but he was in the suite next to me. And everything was going swell right there, man. Family, friends, and touch on all that down the line was in there. Parties and little bringing food, having Thanksgiving in the room, and having birthdays come in March or whatever in the room, and having just Sunday dinner in the room. So that day, I was feeling confidence in UT Southwest, getting the heart. It's coming. I'm fresh. I'm 23, 24. Sent home on Miller Run pump, wait for the heart, wait for that. Then come to find out, it was like the waiting game got placed at another status, and different type of scenarios started popping out where I felt the heart wasn't even gonna happen that soon. Look, I'm going up to the park. That's where I go do my walking at. So I'm continue this once I get parked. I can park where y'all can actually see my walk area. And you look, this is social distance plays a role right here. Look out there, that's the field, soccer field I run across. I got video on that I'm gonna post eventually. But me, at my experience at UT Southwest in 2004, leaving the hospital, thinking I'm still gonna get a heart before Christmas time of 2004, left me with thinking, okay, the heart gonna come. I'm still in play, doing my everyday thing, and coming to the hospital every Monday, getting blood work before the LVAD and all that. So I gave praise to UT Southwest on that part. I started experiencing a lot of where the race started playing a role. There's nothing gonna be under the table, not speaking on and nothing like that. So I will have a segment talking about the race I felt played a role of me by not being transplanted at the beginning. in 2000. I had to wait that 16, 17 years before transplant. And just different factors of UT Southwest, man, that I feel like, if I had to grade them on a scale from 1 to 10, I might give them an 8 with a few hiccups. Then courtesy and that stay in 2000s, few of them was there on point, so I give all the staff a 10. But it's just them couple of ones at UT Southwest that you gotta just, what they were thinking in their committees, when they can overestimate what I could do by just going with somebody else candidates and probably wasn't there. But everything plays a factor in that decision at UT Southwest. So I give them overall like be truthful, back in 2000, I give them like a 6 or 7 really, with the overall performance, with different doctors and different higher staffs, CEOs and shit, people like that playing a role in the treatment curve. Houston Methodist, welcome with open arms when I first got there. For them to take me at the circumstance of me coming from the UT Southwest, when I give them that 6, coming from the AER, transferred within a 7-day gap by being in the emergency room at UT Southwest to transition over to Houston Methodist. They welcomed me, they came up, I made it to a floor, and then doctor came through, was a resident fellow at the time, actually became a cardiac, and she's actually on the main team right now. Dr. Fida, she know who she is. I salute her. She did a wonderful job. From my whole time in Houston, the night I pulled in, I saw her the next day, to me getting the transplant center and clinic, May 2020 or whatever. The last time I seen her walk in the room a week after I got the heart, through my time on the floor, and always been excellent courtesy. So I gotta give her a good presence, a shout out, and she's a perfect and much success in life for her. But never had a problem with Houston Methodist, man. Never had a problem on all fronts. Only thing about Houston Methodist, even with UT Southwest, it played a factor. They go by the race. They gonna say they don't, but they go by that part too. But then it's just the concept of mistreating certain ones that can get bypassed and probably got better responsive medical treatment than other ones that you thinking can go through the door and not make it out as strong or whatever like that. So that's the factor I see with UT Methodist playing that role of not overlooking certain things for the politics of medicine. So I went through a stretch in 2014 or so, I say 15, where a lot of LVADs got sent to St. Luke's across the street, and it was kind of crazy about that scenario. And I ended up being labeled as the only one that Molina, insurance-wise, let hold on to be at the hospital, which I'm grateful now for that opportunity. I ain't never gonna put nothing off on Methodist for that. Later on, they pushed that issue so strong through my first year of transplant that kind of shaded me away from Methodist, with not them sitting there caring about my treatment, sticking me with some coordinator I got to get out there and say it, that I didn't approve of, that was probably doing a job of others. But when you come and telling me stuff under the table, the first day, I'm in 5 days, me being out of surgery, recovering, I'm recovering well. Then when I met my coordinator, he come in with an attitude like I just got out of jail or something like that, approaching me, which I question to the day about the facts of doctors, any medical advisor treating different type of races, patients differently, and don't quiz and say the same stuff that I heard over and over through 25 years of medical, just asking me them questions and throwing it down my throat. And the ultimate thing, go back and check my track record on every possible drug screening or everything I ever took, because I offered them to take it every week if they wanted to. I never was a drug user in my life, never drunk alcohol because I was sick. I always been sick. It made me feel crazy. I done tried to drink before in my younger days, teenage days or whatever, but if I drank one cup of beer or whatever make me want to throw up and stuff like that. So I had that type of problem. That's what I want them to know now. But that person right there kind of distanced me from Methodist because they told me at 6 months that I wouldn't even be eligible for a transplant. Not a transplant, a biopsy. They said that was my last ever biopsy. And I come to find out transplants ain't been told that they'll never receive a biopsy ever in life again. So that was weird right there. That made me get the conception of why would this person tell a patient that's 6 months post them type of things. There's other little scenarios. I touch on that down the line. But all in all, he was a good coordinator though, but he had his ways of thinking. Staff-wise, dealing with the LVAD at Methodist, dealing with the workup for transplant LVAD, recovery after LVAD. They checked in on me at the house. They were willing to send electricians out because of the weather situation to keep it plugged in. I was called up there to go up in the patient room, mentor other candidates and other people that were wanting to get hearts, LVADs and different devices. There was a lot of things I was doing at Methodist that kind of made me feel like that was family. But then, you know, for politics stepping away to be taken away, gave me no choice to make that transition. But all in all, dealing with a few different individuals that probably didn't have eye to eye that I was through the system getting that type of care. I could say Methodist was actually what it considered number one, perfect. Until UT Southwest changed treatment or whatever when you come in the hospital, I ain't gonna never down. And UT Southwest is sitting at that 2 mark, or what they say they at 2, but Methodist, medically wise, with the doctor staff and all that, they specifically on point with every possible thing you come in and complain about. UT Southwest, they kind of let it slide. They'll let another tentative of radiologists, kidney doctors, liver, and everybody assessed it like that. But Dr. Bimaraj, the whole team at Houston Methodist, for especially when Dr. E-Step, Dr. Torrey, all of them was there, they specifically understanding every area of any part of the body that you're getting treated because you one of their transplant patients, and they're actually on every aspect of other parts getting treated because it all deals with the heart functioning. So on that's an excellent job by Methodist on that point. So I got to give them a 10 overall no matter what, with a few bad apples in the crew that's sitting in there eating off of that 10 that everybody in the world give them as that ranking is there for Methodist. I thought it was always higher on a national scale in the top 10 or something with university hospitals all over the country. And I had, you know, I'm just giving Houston Methodist, it's all around better than UT Southwest, but UT Southwest is right there next to it. But UT Southwest got some of the best doctors ever that I've seen. And doctor-wise, I feel like both hospitals are neck and neck, but decisions are made up above the doctors. Is kind of like, I wouldn't even tell you who UT Southwest kind of came back on that level as a hospital that was willing to further go to treatment after transplant without worrying about that part so soon and dropping it down your throat as us being patients, which patients are in the hospital now where they're scared going into their first year annual. Not the fact that you made it there and you did everything right, but a coordinator's down your back not wanting to schedule appointments like it's dealing with them or something. Like it's hurting them or hurting something dealing with them. Would you only hire your employees that's there at the hospitals to help the patient? Not get into this old personal scenarios that causes patients to want to not deal with certain people. That's why they got so many refusals. Or I don't want this person in the room at both hospitals. So all in all, the care of patients at the hospital when they in stay is about the same on both levels. You're always going to have patients coming in and out. But since I've been at UT Southwest, I've been on their 10th floor at that new hospital, and they treat you with excellent for the service of the attendants, RNs, CNAs. They respectable. They doing everything on time. They walking you out the hospital. And that's another performance where I can say UT Southwest might got Methodist on that part for its in-care, the treatment of the RNs and CNAs and the coordinators. I'm not even going to speak on the heart transplant coordinators, but let's break that down. Hands down, UT Southwest coordinators are better than Houston Methodist coordinators. Tyra Webbs is a UT Southwest coordinator that I have read to today, and she's better than the Houston Methodist coordinators. That's hands down. So on that note, I rate both hospitals overall as a good facilities for anybody looking for a transplant, LVAD, kidney, liver, any type of medical situation. I recommend both hospitals. But on that scale of rating Houston Methodist and UT Southwest, I say that Houston Methodist is overall a little better. It is what it's speaking of. It is what it is. But UT Southwest is running tad big behind, but close up there, and they need a little bit extra and step out on the edge and really get out there, and they can pass it. So I give both hospitals a thumbs up, but believe me, it's a lot plays a role if you get deep in the hospitals and going through them scenarios to deal with either transplant hospital in the United States. They got their pros and cons, and I did my pros and cons on both hospitals, broke down with more good on no matter what hospital you go through to in Texas, UT Southwest and Houston Methodist. You're going to get good treatment medically. But it's the inner side of each hospital knowing that everything ain't all gravy, looks, promotions and every staff and everything ain't all good. So on that note, both a thumbs up. I recommend them to anybody. I'm a walking testimony that they do save lives if you go by the program and do what they do. That's it. That's my breakdown of UT Southwest, Houston Methodist. Both a thumbs up. Houston Methodist a little bit better, but UT Southwest ain't too far behind to come up.